once one has or decided on a machine, the next thing to think about is a mask. There are many other accessories, but to get started using CPAP therapy, the only two things that are really essential is a CPAP machine and a mask. There's many other things. They are probably unnecessary. They're mainly comfort features for specific problems, so I would wait until you find that you have a specific comfort mostly related issue and then ask and say, well, is there a product for this? And there probably is. Going back to masks, the first thing to think about when choosing a mask is to think about which type of mask. Now, there's three main types of mask: full face masks, which are over the nose and mouth, nasal masks, which are just over the nose, and pillow masks, which do not go up your nose, they just go around the nostril. There are several other subcategories or combination of masks that just go over the mouth and various things like that, and hybrids of this. I'm going to leave those out at the moment. There's a lot of very good ideas, but I would start with one of these three main ones. If you later again have a specific complaint or comfort related complaint, basically we can have a look at one of these other kinds, but these three categories are the categories that have become really popular, so I would stick with what's popular and mainstream at the moment. So which mask is best for me? Whether you've got these three categories, how to decide? The first thing to think about is, how do you currently breathe? Although you may not know, but maybe someone can advise, or you may know if you have a lot of congestion in your nose and suffer from struggling to breathe through your nose already at night, then probably a full face mask is going to be essential. A full face mask if your nose is blocked up. Even people that use a nasal mask on a normal basis, if they have a cold, they need to switch to a full face mask. It tends to, as a very, very, very rough rule of thumb, if you have more severe sleep apnea and need higher pressures, and then you might be moving more towards a full face mask. If you have very light, if your sleep apnea is very light and you typically breathe with your mouth closed, then I would sort of suggest moving more towards one of the nasal mask or the pillow mask. Again, those two are completely interchangeable. You could have a nasal one, you can have a pillow one. It's just personal preference. The pillow masks that just go around the nose are very popular and work very well. The air does feel slightly different. It's directly into your nose, for want of a better word, and some people find that sensation slightly different. Again, it's personal preference. A lot of people try a pillow mask and never go back to a nasal mask, but it just depends. So in a way, the full face mask is the safer option. So if you're thinking about a CPAP trial, a full face mask is a safer option. It doesn't matter if you breathe through your nose or your mouth with a full face mask. But if you're going to be using CPAP indefinitely, it's worth finding out if you really can use a nasal or pillow mask, because it can become a lot more minimalistic on your face. So again, it just depends. Some people, their jaw drops right down. They have very severe sleep apnea, and again, on the higher pressures, it's easier to cope with a full face mask because you haven't got all the pressure going into one very small area of your face, and it sort of disperses it. So that's the first decision to decide whether you want to try full face, nasal or pillow, or you could even try a combination of two. Again, the good part about CPAP and auto CPAP is that any mask goes with any machine, so you don't have to have the same manufacturer's mask with the same machine. However, once you've decided on which type of mask, you've then presented with a whole series of different masks. I would probably go with one of the more common masks. Start with a again. There's different prices on masks, although they don't vary hugely. We're talking about a difference between £40 and £150 at the most, and most of them somewhere in between. So it's not a vast sum of difference in money. Some the better quality ones, they have more comfort features, they have more adjustment features. You don't have to take the mask off if you need to get up in the night. You can there's a quick release from the main hose, and you can adjust it. You can normally adjust the angle on the better quality masks so that they don't so they put more pressure on the top of the mask or the bottom of the mask. Again, if you start with a medium quality one and then you find there's a problem, we can think about a mask that deals or tries to deal with that particular problem, be it whether you have a beard and you need a mask that goes underneath your chin, especially if your mouth drops down, or if you're very restless in sleep and you need one that's particularly good at stopping leakage. So these are some of the things to think about. So once you decide on a mask, once you decide on the type of mask and you decide on the individual mask, the next thing is to think about size. Each mask has its own, this is the bad part now, each mask has its own sizing template. So once you decide on a mask, we need to guide you towards a template and make sure you get the right size. These templates are normally can be done by just taking a measurement, either measuring really, it's not the size of your head or anything else that matters, it's really the features, your eyes, nose, mouth. If it's a nasal mask, it's whether the mask it needs to be big enough to go over the wide part of your nose, but not too big that it's going to run either below onto your top of your upper lip or go into your eyes. If it's a full face mask, it needs to be wide enough to cover the wide part of your mouth, but not too big that it's again going to drop onto the jaw and cause air to leak or go into your eyes.